Thank you so much, Tom, and this esteemed panel. That was really interesting, and I'm getting texted questions still, so I might have to find our genetic counselors and ask them. So today we heard from patients, we heard from advocates, we got a policy perspective, we got a genetics perspective. And through all of that, there's a common theme about changing paradigms and turning adversity into opportunity. And I think we're on the cusp of doing so much. And with that, I wanted to introduce somebody who's living and breathing that every day, truly. So at Rocket, our mission is to develop first-in-class curative gene therapies for rare and devastating diseases. And Gaurav Shah, our CEO, I can tell you, day in and day out, weekends, vacations, he is working on this, and it's truly remarkable and extremely inspiring. And so with that, I wanted to invite Gaurav up to stage to close us out today. Gaurav?
Hello, can you hear me? Okay. Well, first of all, a big round of applause again for all the patients, the families, the advocacy groups, the patient representatives, the moderators, the speakers, the physicians, and other practitioners involved in genetic testing. And also, if you were involved in any of those activities or the volunteer RDD force, please stand up. And a big, big, huge round of applause to everybody. Thank you. I'll come back to that. So I want to close on 3 notes. Moving toward music soon, so use the musical analogies. 3 notes: why, hope, and a call to action. 3 things. Let's talk about why. Today, as other rare disease weeks, was a reminder of why we do what we do. I don't think there was a dry eye in the room when we were hearing some of the stories from this morning. And the inspiration that we draw from these events, please let's carry it forward, whether you're an advocate for a patient, a scientist at Rocket, or a doctor at Montefiore. Let's please remember the why we do this. It's such a privilege to work on rare diseases and on gene therapy. Hope. So I was, before this, I was actually chatting with Micah. Turns out we both grew up in DFW, and I remember being an 8th grader in DFW a long time ago. And something that he said really struck a note in me and probably many of us. And he said, look, my advice to you is when times are tough, I got to paraphrase this exactly. I wrote it down. Even when times get tough, don't stop what you're doing because you give us hope. And it's 240 times more joy and hope than we would have had otherwise. When times are tough, don't stop what you're doing. So I leaned over to a colleague on the side wall over there, and I said, we have to get this done. We have no choice. We have to get this done. How can we not? And it's such an honor to be working together with the community here and everyone at Rocket as well to get this done. And Brittany, Micah's mother, also asked us all about what is your hope equation? So I thought of one. A couple of my friends over there did too. I'm going to ask Jonathan to read yours.
Thank you. Despite my incessant grumbling, I often do as I'm asked. And so Brittany requested that we generate a hope equation, and I did in magic marker in my abominable handwriting. And so here it is. And I thought of it specifically in the context of completing the pivotal Danon phase 2 study, but it could so easily be applicable to taking both LAD1 and Fanconi across the the regulatory FDA finish line and launching, and to many other things that so many of us are involved in. So hope equation, understanding plus planning plus patience plus persistence plus a little help from my friends and family. No multiplication, no division, just addition. Of course, things are always a little bit more complicated than, hey, give a mouse a muffin.
I know, man. I know. I gotta.
No, things are always a little more complicated than
I want to ask other people too.
that.
That's why. So.
Because the understanding is very complex. It involves really understanding the scientific and medical underpinnings of what we seek to do, but then also understanding on a completely different level, compassion. And if you have one without the other, it's not going to work out terribly well in the long term. You need both. The planning, patience, and persistence part, okay, those are the 3 Ps. You guys know that. You live and breathe it. I see it every day, every week, every weekend, too often. And then the little help from my friends part is also sometimes more than a little. And friends are a pretty expansile group. I'd like to think I have a lot of them in this room, and that a lot of you have that in me, and that we have those friends at medical centers and other organizations all around the country and all around the world, because I think we do, but you can never have too many of them. So here's to a little help from my friends. Thanks, Gaurav.
So in my nerdy 8th grade Fort Worth, Texas mind, I'll tell you my equation. Hope equals positive minus negative. So the minus negative is a double negative, right? So it turns into a positive. So it's 1 minus minus 1 equals 2. So hope equals positive minus negative. That was whatever. But I would love to hear other people's. I don't think we read these out. Just the equation. Anyone want to volunteer? There's a microphone going to be passed around. Over here, Liz.
Yeah. I really like this question as well. And I was thinking about it, and I think for me personally, I would say it's hope equals faith times action.
Nice. We should write some of these down, Kevin, or someone. Jonathan, you write them down. These are great. Faith times action.
Thank you.
Planning, patience, persistence. Go ahead.
So leaning into being an engineer, mine was love minus fear to the exponential power of courage plus audacity. So just a little bit of courage and audacity exponentially increases our hope.
Amazing. Amazing. We're getting into multi-linear algebra here. It's great. Great.
For me, I define hope as wishing the impossible be possible, or making the impossible be possible if you are the people who bring hope to others.
Nice, nice. Beautiful. You can also email me your hope equation if you don't want to say it out loud.
All right.
I'd love to hear from you.
Mine doesn't, I don't know, maybe it doesn't read well after you guys' better equations. For me, the hope equation felt life, health, hard work, persistence, collaboration, inspiration, minus noise.
Nice. Very good. All right, so thank you, and I would love to hear from everybody what your hope equation is. So why, number one, hope, number two, and the call to action. The call to action is the following. As Micah mentioned, times can be tough. Times can be challenging. Times aren't challenging. Whether you're on the patient and family side, and the physician side, scientist side, or the business sides, times are challenging. And what I ask of you, my call to action for everyone here is the following. Acknowledge with 20% of your psyche that things are challenging, that there is a challenge. But lean in to positivity and hope with the other 80%, the remaining 80%. Don't ignore the challenges, but 20% to understand the challenges, learn from them. But let's lean into hope, 80%, with 80% of our psyche moving forward. That's my call to action for everybody here. Thank you. And I'm going to bring Latika back up here. Can you say?
Thank you so much, Gaurav, and thank you for everybody for sharing your equations. I love them. And we are definitely going to capture them, Kevin, and do something creative with them. And then, before we break, I just want to thank our sponsors. Our sponsors made this event possible. They were really generous. They helped sponsor all of the food today, and they helped sponsor a lot of the things that happen in the background. So thank you very much to all of the sponsors that are listed here, and many of them are here in the room with us. So next, we're going to take a break, but it's a special break. We're going to go outside, and we're going to go to the left, and Mark, our lovely photographer, is going to take a group shot. Then we're going to come back in here, and we've got a very special musical guest who will be performing. Thank you.